Welcome to a brand new WTF the show. What we're going to be doing here, so we're going to be doing a few things here. I got a couple segments I want you guys to check out. You're going to be happy with this. This is some stuff you guys are going to want to know, whether you like it or not. It's coming to you. It's not just us. It's not just YouTube. It's just not just Patreon. It's not just one thing. It's everybody. They're coming for you. This is something you're going to have to check out. So, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Anytime I go live or make another video, you guys first know. Also, you guys can always help us out. Support us on patreon.com at WTFTV. Also, we're bigger now. We're going to be going a little bit more. All right? So, now this show will also be a podcast. On Spotify, Apple, you name it, it's on there. What you can do is if you want to listen to it on Spotify, it's on Spotify, WTF TV. Look for that angry yellow guy. You'll see him. With the Apple, same thing. You can also check it out on Anchor. It'll be on my Facebook page, my Twitter page. Also, so if you guys, like I said, you guys want to help out, support the channel, support the cause. It's going to be good stuff. I mean, it helps us out, gets our word out there. Also, share this video. If you know anybody that doesn't think like the left and they want their own voices heard, this is what's going to happen, right? You're not going to see it from the mainstream media, except for a few people on Fox. You got Hannity, you got Tucker, you got Laura Ingraham. Laura Ingraham, I don't know, she kind of wishy-washy sometimes. Tucker, he's good. He could have some bonehead deals. Now Hannity, he's pretty good, but we're gonna talk about Hannity here in a little bit. So what I want you to do first, this next clip, what I want you to see, it's what CNN thinks of free speech. It's what they think should happen. So this ought to be a good one. I think it's stupid, but you tell me.
In the United States. And the challenge is going to be partially that, ISIS did not have a domestic constituency in the United States Congress. But there is over half of the Republicans in Congress voted to overturn the election. And there will be a continual political pressure on the companies to not take it seriously. So I think first you have to focus on those violent extremists, and those companies have to be brave in that way. And second, we have to turn down the capability of these conservative influencers to reach these huge audiences. There are people on YouTube, for example, that have a larger audience than daytime CNN. And they are extremely radical and pushing extremely radical views. And so it's up to the Facebooks and YouTubes in particular to think about whether or not they want to be effectively cable networks for disinformation. And then we're going to have to figure out the OANN and Newsmax problem. That these companies have freedom of speech, but I'm not sure we need Verizon, AT&T, Comcast, and such to be bringing them into tens of millions of homes. This is allowing people to seek out information if they really want to, but not pushing it into their faces, I think is where we're going to have to go here.
And what do you think about that one? What do you think about that? A lot of people should have a problem with that. Me, you, anybody that has opinions of their own, that they don't like to think what other people, they're not a group thinker. They have their mind of their own. See, that's the thing that the left wants. I'm not a left, I'm not a right. I'm right there in the center. I'll call BS on either side. Okay, that's my deal. Okay, what I don't like is I do not like if, let's just say, I have an opinion, right, on the election. Well, let's say I don't like something that was done. I don't like how certain things were done in the election, right? If I say something on Facebook, which I've had done before, if I say, this is my opinion, they fact check opinions. Oh, yeah, your opinion is not right. Well, no shit. It's an opinion. It's not a fact. It's my opinion. And that's the problem, right? Twitter, same thing. I had something I sent out over a tweet about how a few things I did not like about Biden. My opinions. Fact check, took it off, right? So you got to think about this. They're fact checking your opinions. This is the problem we're seeing on a daily basis. If your opinions don't align with people from from the left-hand side of the court. If your opinions don't align, they're going to shut you up. And this is just one person. Imagine if Zuckerberg or that idiot from Twitter. Imagine what Mr. Fake ZZ Top from Twitter. Imagine what he thinks, right? He was asked several times. Do you think that the election was stolen? I wouldn't say stolen. I can't say stolen. Let's not say stolen. Swayed because of their hatred for Donald Trump. He didn't want to answer the question. What does that tell you? That tells you right there that this stuff isn't right. Something fishy in the works. You can smell something fishy out there, and that's the problem. They're going to censor you. If you have an opinion, they're going to fact check your opinion and tell you you're wrong. Your own damn opinion. So this is the problem we're working with. We'll be back in just a second. We'll hit some more. All right, welcome back, man. Oh, this segment we're going to be talking about the whole Hannity, the guy that had the laptop for Biden, Mr. Crackhead Biden. This whole interview, there's two parts to this interview. It was terrible. It was not a good look. If he had just, took some bits and pieces out of it, it might have looked a little bit better, but it was terrible. It wasn't a very good look for Hannity. Now, I know he had good intentions, but this interview turned out to be horrible. I'm going to show you. I want you to see a clip of this. You'll see exactly what I'm thinking, exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see just how bad this guy is. Now, is it his personality? I don't know. Or it's just weird. So, here he is talking about the laptop.
Dropped off 3 laptops in your store, only one of which was salvageable, which is the one in question, correct?
Correct.
Okay, now you got to a point where you saw things on the laptop that were disturbing. What did you see?
I saw material of a very personal nature. I don't want to obviously go into it. I don't feel comfortable about talking about the personal stuff. I also saw files related to financing and other documents that just raised some red flags.
Let me see if I can get you to explain in a little more detail things of a personal nature. Anything that would shock the conscience of the American people if they saw it?
I don't know about shocking the conscience of the American people. I know that in the process of trying to verify data, you want to choose files that are going to be the most susceptible to having corruption. Video files are a good example of that. So when I was comparing the data from the drive that I was copying to and from, I would open up a large video file, and then I saw some disturbing content of a very personal nature.
So of a personal nature, let me ask you this. Would your initial gut reaction be one that would be, this is illegal what I'm saying? What I'm seeing, rather?
I didn't look at
in your non-lawyerly opinion, in other words, would an average person looking at those videos think this is totally illegal and needs to be reported?
Initially, the stuff that I saw from doing just the initial transfer, I would say the images in the video that I saw, I saw criminal activity, but I wouldn't go so far as to say it was criminal. I was more concerned.
Well, what'd you think of that? Boy, that went to hell in a handbag, didn't it? That was terrible. Hannity should never let that interview hit the airwaves. As soon as he finished up with the interview, It should have went straight to the garbage, because the man wouldn't answer. When he answered a question, he would rebut his own answer. This was horrible. He should never have put this on the internet, on TV. It should never gotten past the garbage can on his laptop or whatever the hell it was. It was terrible. Tell me what you think. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. What do you think this? How this interview went? I think it was terrible. That's just my opinion. You can tell me what you guys think. Anytime you want to make a comment, let me know down below. Tell me what you think. I want to, because you guys are the ones watching this stuff. You got an opinion. Let me know what it is. Man, I'll be back. We'll keep rolling. All right, this segment's going to be talking about MLK. Republicans using the MLK speech. Now, I can't tell you what I think, because that's just crazy. But what I can tell you, what I can show you, is Ben Shapiro's reaction to it. It's a damn good one. He says it better than I can. This is Ben Shapiro talking about the left saying don't use MLK. Check this out.
The Constitution is basically either a tool or an obstacle on behalf of left-wing viewpoints. That is now being promoted openly by CNN. Again, your objective name in news. They put out a report today. It's titled, Trump Administration Issues a Racist School Curriculum Report on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Okay, first of all, this is part and parcel of a broader effort by the left to suggest that Republicans can never quote MLK. Right? If you say that Martin Luther King's dream, which was that people be treated as individuals rather than as representatives of their race, if you say that that is a very good thing, and it's a good thing that America celebrates that ideal, the left will say, no, we need ideological homogeneity in order for you to quote MLK. Right? Sonny Hostin is representative of this view on the left. If you want to cite MLK approvingly for that sentiment, you also have to buy into all left-wing tropes. And if you voted for Trump, you are simply not allowed to believe anything that MLK believed. Here is Sonny Hostin doing this routine on ABC's The View.
I saw today, unbelievably, in my view, Ted Cruz, Kayleigh McEnany, Ronna McDaniel, Melania Trump, quoting Dr. King, tweeting Dr. King. Those were the same people that were like Melania Trump with this birther lie, Ted Cruz with challenging, the Electoral College, Kayleigh McEnany. Just over and over again with her propaganda. How dare they try to quote Dr. King on the celebration of his birthday when they enabled a racist president.
Okay, so this is my favorite part, is that MLK Day was supposed to be a unifying moment around which all Americans could unify. And it would be good if all of your political opponents cited MLK approvingly. But if your political opponents cite MLK approvingly and they're your political opponents and you're on the left, that's very bad. Then you're not allowed to talk about MLK ever again. So anyway, CNN has now come out against what is called the 1776 report. Okay, so the president had an advisory committee. They put together the 1776 report, which was designed to be a counter to the 1619 Project. And it is a fulsome explanation of the ideals of the Declaration of Independence. It talks about the greatness of the United States. It says things like this. Of course, neither America nor any other nation has perfectly lived up to the universal truths of equality, liberty, justice, and government by consent. No nation before America ever dared state those truths as the formal basis for its politics. None has strived harder or done more to achieve them. Right? That is the basis of the 1776 Commission, and it's a report well worth reading with your kids. It talks about the value of the Declaration of Independence and the value of the Constitution of the United States. It quotes people ranging from Thomas Jefferson to Frederick Douglass. It talks about race in the Constitution. It quotes Ronald Reagan, of course. And the basic idea is that there are a bunch of challenges to American principles that are now rife on the left. And this, of course, is exactly right. It talks about the evils of progressivism, which held that essentially the Declaration of Independence was irrelevant, and the evils of fascism, the evils of communism. And then it talks about racism and identity politics and points out that the civil rights movement was a grand and glorious movement culminating in the 1960s with the passage of 3 major legislative reforms affecting segregation, voting, and housing rights. It presented itself and was understood by the American people as consistent with the principles of the founding. And Martin Luther King Jr. himself said, when the architects of our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence, they were signing a promissory note to which every American was to fall heir. And then, says the report, the civil rights movement was almost immediately turned to programs that ran counter to the lofty ideals of the founders. The ideas that drove this change had been growing in America for decades. They distorted many ideas of areas of policy in the half-century that followed. Among the distortions was the abandonment of non-discrimination and equal opportunity in favor of group rights, not unlike those advanced by John C. Calhoun and his followers. Right? I've written about all of this. I've talked about it on the show. There's nothing racist about this report. CNN's headline is, quote, Trump administration issues a racist school curriculum report on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So you are now in direct opposition to Martin Luther King Jr. if you believe that America was gloriously founded, did not live up to its ideals, and progressively realized those ideals over time, and that identity politics strips away those ideals. Now you must be banned, right? You're ostracized. You're a racist if you believe all of those things.
Oh man, I'm going to leave you off with this stuff here today. I got two videos I want you to see. I found this. It's some of the best I've seen. The video is going to be great. The audio is going to be even better. I want you to check these out. If you haven't already, like I said earlier, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. That way, in case I go live or have a new video, you guys will know. Also, share this video. We got to get this out, man. People aren't listening. Well, they're listening, but they're listening to idiots. But also, you can always help us. You can always support us on patreon.com at WTFTV. Also, man, it's been a good one. I've enjoyed this show. I can't wait till next week. Until then.
And
they're hundreds of miles away, though. They're hundreds and hundreds of miles away. That's not an invasion.
Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run CNN.
Right.
And if you did it well, your ratings
Let
would
me
be
ask,
much
if
better.
I may ask one other question, Mr. President, if I may ask one other question, are you worried?
That's enough. That's
Mr.
enough.
President,
That's
I was
enough.
going to ask one of the other folks.
That's enough.
Pardon me, ma'am. Mr. President,
That's enough.
Mr. President, I had one other
Peter,
question,
let's
if
go.
I may ask, on the Russia investigation. Are you concerned that you may have?
I'm not concerned about anything with
you
the
may have
Russian
indictments coming
investigation because it's a hoax.
Are you?
That's enough. Put down the mic.
Mr. President, are you worried about indictments coming?
Here we go.
If you don't mind, Mr. President,
Come on.
that this caravan was an invasion. As you know, Mr.
I
President,
consider it to be an
As you know,
invasion.
Mr. President, the caravan was not an invasion. It's a group of migrants moving up from Central America towards the border with the U.S.
Thank you for telling me that. I appreciate it.
Why did you characterize it as such?
Because I consider it an invasion. You and I have a difference of opinion.
But do you think that you demonized immigrants in this election
No, not
to
at all.
try to keep?
I want them to come into the country, but they have to come in legally. You know, they have to come in, Jim, through a process. I want it to be a process, and I want people to come in, and we need the people.
Your campaign.
Wait. You know why we need the people, don't you? Because we have hundreds of companies moving in. We need the people.
But your campaign had an ad showing migrants climbing over walls and
Well,
so
that's
on.
true. But they weren't actors.
They're not going to be doing
They
that.
weren't actors. Well, no, it's true. Do you think they were actors? They weren't actors. They didn't come from Hollywood.
Mr. President.
I'll tell you what, CNN should be ashamed of itself having you working for them. You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN. He sits on his golf course. I mean, literally, think about it. You probably play more than I do, Joe.
What about this question of reopenings and the fact?
Well, he wants to shut down this country. And I want to keep it open. And we did a great job by shut it down. Wait a minute, Joe. Let me shut you down for a second, Joe. Just for 1 second. And by the way, maybe you could inject some bleach in your arm, and that would take care of it. This is the same thing. Sarcastic. That was you know that. I would have said sarcastic. And so here's the deal.
Increasingly question the effectiveness of masks as a disease preventer. And in fact, recently you have cited the issue of waiters touching their masks and touching plates. Are you questioning
I think
the
masks
efficacy
are okay.
of
You have to
masks?
understand, if you look, I mean, I have a mask right here. I put a mask on it, when I think I need it. Tonight, as an example, everybody's had a test, and you've had social distancing and all of the things that you have to, but I wear masks when needed. When needed, I wear masks.
Okay, let me ask.
I don't wear masks like him. Every time you see him, he's got a mask. He could be speaking 200 feet away from me, and he shows up with the biggest mask I've ever seen. I will say this. He wants to shut down the country. We just went through it. We had to because we didn't know anything about the disease.
Well, all right. Let's talk. We got a lot to unpack here, gentlemen.
But I'll tell you, Joe, you could never have done the job that we did. You don't have it in your blood. You could have never done that job. I know how to do the job. I know how to get the job. Well, you didn't.
It's on the ballot in the court.
I don't think so.
In the court.
Well, there's nothing happening there.
Donald, would
And you don't know her
now.
You're gonna pack the
Make
court?
sure you, in fact, let people know
He doesn't want
you're
to answer the
senator.
question.
I'm not going to answer the question
Why would
because
you answer that
because
question?
the
You wanna
question
put a lot of
is the
new
question
Supreme Court
is
justice,
the
radical
question-
left.
Would you shut up, man?
Listen, who is on your list, Joe? This
Who's
is
on your
so
right, gentlemen?
Not by much. I beat him a whole hell of a lot. I'm here standing facing you, buddy.
Pocahontas would have left 2 days early. You would have lost every primary.
All he knows how to do is
Super Tuesday. You got
Look,
very lucky.
here's the deal. I got very lucky. I'm going to get very lucky tonight as well.
The president, can you let him finish, sir?
No, he doesn't know how to do that. He has.
You'd be surprised.
You pick
You'd be surprised.
the
Go ahead,
wrong
Jim.
guy, the wrong night at the wrong time.
Listen, you number 3.